Hi folks, this video has essentially two purposes. The first is to kind of explain a little more about why you're doing your PSAs and group work, and the second is to clarify the group sort of expectations for the primary source analysis, which you have due 4 times during the semester, and you always do those in groups. So first of all, the purpose behind putting you in groups is not to Unfortunately, it's not to divvy up the work for you and make it easier. In fact, I think that you might find that it is harder to do these assignments in groups than it might have been otherwise. On the other hand, I'm not doing that just to be evil. I'm doing that because I think that group work, especially in a virtual environment, is a really valuable skill. And it's one that I'm finding that increasingly employers really need you to be capable and willing to do. So, that's part of the reason why I've assigned it for you. So first of all, because I think it's a valuable skill that I think you're going to need in the workplace even more going forward. And I hope an online class is preparing you for sort of more online experiences in the future outside of just taking classes. So the second reason that I have assigned it, even though I fully am aware that it is tough to do group work online. It's tough to do group work in any situation. But that's because I think that you will get more out of these PSAs if you aren't just looking at a primary source all alone in your dorm or your room somewhere and never talking about it with anybody else. I think that you will learn more about the history that the primary sources are delving into, and that you'll have a richer and more full experience by working in a group instead of just doing this on your own, jotting down an answer and sending it off to me and not getting any feedback from anyone but me. And at that point, of course, it's too late because then you're getting a grade and you're not having a chance to sort of hash it out and think about the primary sources in the way that you would in an in-person class. So in a way, I'm hoping that the virtual meetings will kind of simulate an in-person class. There are a lot of great things about online classes, but one of the downsides is that you don't get that great interaction that you would usually get with other people in a class, which I recognize that some of you probably hate, and that's the whole reason you took an online class. Um, and so that's why I've only asked you to do this 4 times throughout the semester. Okay, so that's sort of the first part of what I wanted to get through in this video. And if you have any questions about why I've asked you to do group work for your primary source analysis, then please do feel free to email me, but I hope that clarifies it a little bit. The second thing that I want to do in this video is clarify the expectations for group work. You should obviously be emailing or texting or calling your group members to coordinate activities, but if you have signed up on the group virtual meetings time page, that time when you have signed up to meet together should be the only time that you really have to devote to working together all at the same time, because once you've met in that virtual meeting for the pre-work, then everything else you're doing at like sort of on your own time and then just submitting it to your group members through Google Docs or however you decide to handle it. So that being said, if you are not available during the time that your group decided to do a virtual meeting, then you are essentially foregoing your right to complete the PSA and to get a grade on your PSA for that module. If you signed up on the virtual meetings times page for Thursdays at 7 o'clock, you better be available Thursdays at 7 o'clock because your group is counting on you. Now, if there is some sort of emergency and your group is willing to work with you to reschedule the meeting, that is completely fine with me. You don't need to tell me that's happening. You just need to thank your group members profusely and move on. So when it's time to do that pre-work in the virtual meeting, the reason that I've had you do those quizzes, let me see if I can pull one up, that are essentially saying, one of those is due tomorrow, those quizzes are essentially saying, yep, I was here, I participated in the group work. That is sort of like a safety net for the rest of your group, just so that they have some kind of recourse if you said that you were going to show up and then that you didn't. So these are kind of here. They're very simple. All it asks is to say, did you participate? Were you on time? Did you stay the whole time? And then tell me if there's anybody in your group who didn't do all those things, participate and show up and stay for the whole time. So essentially, this is the space to let me know if someone is not pulling their weight. And I highly doubt that that is going to happen in very many cases, especially once the semester gets underway and you kind of get a handle on how to do this. I know it's been a lot of group work for the first few days here and a lot of coordination with people you don't necessarily know. And I hope that you can plow through the frustration of that and enjoy working together on the PSAs. It really should be a good assignment to do together and one that will make much more sense to you once you've done the first one. But as usual, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email, follow 3Before Me, and make sure the answer isn't already out there. But I'm happy to talk through this with anybody who needs to. Hope that helped a little bit.